Hello and welcome back to Corby's Puppetry Course. This week I'm going to teach you how to manipulate your marionettes. All you will need this week is your marionette. So let's get started. Make sure you've got a table that you can perform on, and what I need you to do is pick up your marionette and hold the control with your dominant hand. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold it with my right hand. I'm just going to put my palm under it like that, and I'm going to rest my thumb on this control at the front. I'm going to take you through some tips and tricks for getting this thing to walk around and move. So first of all, I'd make sure you set your marionette down on a table or a floor. It's much better to put the marionettes on a surface as you can use it to your advantage. If you look, when I put it on my hand, I can just lower the control and that lowers the marionette and brings him up. Whereas if I didn't have that there, he'd just sort of float up and down. So always bring it onto some kind of a surface. I've got a table. The beauty of this marionette control is you can control almost all of the puppet with one hand. So to start off with, I'm not going to teach you anything. What I want you to do is move your hand around and see what happens to your marionette. So if we tilt it up, what happens to our marionette? If we tilt it down, what happens to our marionette? What about if we rotate it like this, what happens? So just cycle through that a few times. Go up. Tilt it back down, go to the left, and then go to the right, and then rotate it round. So if you're wondering why the marionette moves in different ways depending on how you rotate this, is because of the strings. What happens when we move our hand is we're pulling different strings up and letting other ones go loose. So as you might have seen, tilting upwards doesn't do too much, but if you tilt down, you'll see that the puppet bends over. And the reason for this is because we've got this string on the back. The main strings that hold up the puppet are these ones here that attach to the body. But when we tilt the puppet, the waist becomes tight, which then lifts the waist up so you can bend it down like that. Now you may have noticed that when we tilt our control left or right, the head moves. So the head control is set perfectly level. When we tilt our wrist, one of these strings gets tighter and one of them gets looser, which tilts the head towards the string that's tighter. So you can use that to look around just by tilting your hand like that. The final thing you may have noticed is that when we spin our marionette, the head goes first, followed by the legs. And same with the other way around, the head goes first. So the feet stick to the surface and these bits start to move, so you can then tilt the puppet, make it look around to the side and make it look back. So that's the basics of our main control, but I'll give you an extra little trick. You can actually use your other hand to pull the strings in interesting ways. So my favourite one to do is the back string. You can pull that and it's very good at controlling the puppet's lower half, and you can get some cool moves like that while it's down on the ground. You can also grab the body strings and that helps you lower the head for when you want to make your puppet look really sad. So you may have noticed that we haven't used the legs or the hands. Now this is because it's got a very important control on the front of our puppet, just here. Now for the legs, there's two ways of doing this. So what I want you to do is take your thumb and put it on top of this little disc. So we're going to spin this with our thumb. You can see that the legs go up and down. So by moving this control left and right, we move our different legs. And you can combine this by moving your puppet around to make it look like it's walking. So what we're going to do now is just gently lift them up and down nice and slowly. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk our puppet around our stage. And have a think about what your puppet may be thinking and see if you can try and get that thought into the performance. So you might want to get your puppet to walk in and have a stop and then just have a little look around, see what it finds, and then it might decide to get back on with its day. So that's one way of walking, but if you find it easier, you can actually remove this piece out of the front and you can control the legs with your other hand. So try and have a walk this way, you might find it easier. With this method of walking, you can get a lot different movements out because you can get your knees to come out further or you can get them to come out higher. So try the same exercise again, but use your other hand and see which one you prefer. Using your legs gives loads of possibilities to your marionettes. You can do things like make them kneel, You could bring one leg up and do some hopping. And they're very good for helping your marionettes dance. You can use your legs to help your marionette sit down. And then stand back up. Now the final thing to look at is the arms. Now you may remember from last time that these are strung a little bit differently. Both of your hands are attached with one string and looped around this little disc. To operate your hands, you'll need to use your spare hand, and there's a few different ways of moving them. The simplest thing to do is grab one of the strings and use the disc to help move them up and down. Or you can pick this string up and move both of the hands together, or hold one half of them and just move the one, and you can get a lot more movement out of this as you can move it left and right as well as up and down. So this is very good for talking and gesturing and making big actions. Marionettes are great because there's lots of different things you can do as you've got the whole body to play with. So you could lie down. They can jump. They might be able to crawl along the floor. So now I've gone through the different ways you can move your marionette. What I'd recommend you do is find your favourite song in the world, put it on, and then have a little boogie with your marionette. It's good fun and it's a great way to practice your puppetry skills. Here's my attempt. So that's my attempt at some marionette dancing, so give it a go yourself and see what you come up with. And feel free to film some and send it my way, I'd love to have a look. So that's all from me this week. I hope you've had a fantastic time playing around with your marionette, and I hope you continue practicing and improving your puppetry skills. Remember, you can join one of our puppetry sessions on Tuesdays 6 till 7 or Wednesdays 4 till 5, and I can help you with any puppetry projects you're working on. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.